Peculiarities begin as thoughts. Geranda, how is it that some people are easily disgusted? Tell me what disgusts you. Everything disgusts me. In that case, everything bad will come to you. Worms in your fruit or beans, a hair in your bread, and so forth. That is exactly what happens, Geranda. Glory be to God. Do you see how much God is helping you to overcome this problem? Geranda, doesn't this problem start from the thought? Let's say we found a hair in our bread. We can just take it out. This is a blessing. Give it to me and I'll take it for a blessing. Oh, I remember once at Mount Sinai I was going somewhere with a monk and I gave him 2 peaches. I noticed that he did not eat them. He wanted to go and wash them before eating them, and he held them in his hand so they will not pick up more germs by putting them into his pocket. His brother, who had 8 children, used to tell me, he uses up more soap to wash his hands than my wife uses to wash our 8 children. You should see what happened to him. There at Mount Sinai, a Bedouin was assigned to help each monk with their chores and to provide food and so forth. The Bedouin assigned to the fussy monk was the most unclean of all of them. He was really unkempt. Both he and his clothes smelled very badly. He would need to be soaked in water for a whole week to get clean. His hands were so dirty that they needed to be scrubbed to get him clean. Whenever he picked up the tray to carry the food to the monk, his fingers would go into the food. Go away, go away, the monk would shout whenever the Bedouin approached him. In the end, of course, the poor monk did not last even 2 weeks at a Mount Sinai monastery. I remember also at a Coenobium we had a monk who as a layman had been a police captain. They made him a reader because he was educated. He had been in the monastery for years, yet was still disgusted by many things. He would not even touch a doorknob. He would try to open a door with his foot, or try to turn the knob with his elbow, and then clean his sleeve with alcohol. He would even open the door of the church with his foot. In his old age, God permitted that his feet develop gangrene, especially the one he used to open the door. I was serving as a nursing aide when he first came to the monastery's hospital with his foot all bandaged up. The nursing orderly told me to untie it while he went to get some bandages. When I untied it, I gasped. It was covered with little worms. Go down to the sea to wash it and get rid of the worms. And come to have me change the bandages. It was at a loss seeing the condition of his foot, the degree of his punishment. The nursing orderly asked me, do you know the cause of his affliction? Yes, it's because he opens the door with his foot, I told him. And Geranda, did he continue to open the door with his foot? Yes, with his foot. And he had grown old as a monk. Didn't he understand in the end? I don't know. After that, I went to the monastery of Stomion in Konica. I don't know how he died, but there in the Coenobium on Mount Athos, some of the younger monks would eat the food left on the plates of the older monks as a blessing. They would gather the leftovers because they had been blessed. Others would kiss the doorknob touched by the elders, while the monk who was disgusted by everything would barely touch his mustache to the holy icons when he bowed to reverence them. One can only imagine what his poor mustache had to endure with the rubbing alcohol. Geranda, when something like this happens with sacred things, is it not irreverence? Of course, this is how things start, and then move on to further developments. This same monk reached the point of not kissing the icons because he feared that the monks who reverenced them before him had some illness. In other words, if one is to avoid being disgusted, he must not be fussy or pay any attention to such things. People do not see what trash is mixed into the food they put in their mouth. Even if one has some phobia about getting sick, Christ will help if one makes the sign of the cross with faith. Many people who have various illnesses come by my Kelly. Some simple folk who come will cross themselves when they pick up the tin cup I have there to drink some water. Others who are afraid do not touch it. Someone who held an important position in a company recently came to see me. He is so afraid of germs that he has bleached his hands white from frequent washings with disinfectant alcohol. He will even rub the steering wheel of his automobile with alcohol. I felt sorry for him. Do you know what it is like to hold such an important position and to be like that? I gave him some locumi, and he did not take it because I had touched it. But even if it had still been in the box, he would not have taken it, because he would be thinking that someone else must have placed it in the box with his hands in the first place. I took the locumi and rubbed it on his shoe and ate it. I did a number of things like that in order to help him free himself, even a little, from his feeling of disgust. Today a young woman came here who was a hypochondriac. She will not receive a blessing when she entered because she was afraid of catching germs. And when she was leaving after all I had said to help her, she still would not receive a blessing. I won't kiss your hand, Geronda, because I am afraid of catching germs, she told me. What can you say? Such people make themselves miserable.